Welcome back to the Route 281 podcast. I'm Tim Ladich, your host. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. It really helps more people find the show, and I appreciate hearing your thoughts, and I greatly appreciate any and all support. Today's guest is a local historian whose passion for researching his own family history led him on a journey tracing his ancestry all the way back to President Ulysses S. Grant. Along that way, the interest grew into a deep fascination with Somerset County's earliest settlers, historic cemeteries, and the stories hidden in old grave sites across the area. Through years of research, he's uncovered forgotten histories and helped preserve the stories of the people who helped shape this region. And I'm really looking forward to hearing more about that and spending time with him today. Mr. Clark Brocht.
Eye doctor in there for a while. It's a big old Victorian looking home.
Yes.
What was that originally?
At one time, I think it had the biggest glass doors in the world. Mike Hardwick can tell you all about it.
Okay. Huh. Yeah, there's a lot of history in the town of Somerset.
Yes.
But so, Clark Brocht, thank you so much for being here today, and I look forward to you passing on some of the knowledge that you've gained over the years, But so I guess my first question is, what kind of started? What piqued your interest in local history, and how did you kind of start on this journey?
I always liked local history. I had a grandmother. Her and I would sit and talk for hours on what Castleman used to be.
Well, it's May and it's deck season. And if you don't have one, chances are you want one. And as a contractor, the place I go to get my customers the best products is SDC Building Center in Somerset. They've got a full line of composite decking, treated decking. They've got all the railings, so you can have a completely customized job. They're great to work with in there. The customer service is great, and these people actually know what they're talking about. They'll help you find exactly what you're looking for. So head into SDC Building Center in Somerset today. Okay.
Of course, she was raised in Castleman as a child before they moved back up on the farm when her grandfather died. But just sharing what it was and what it isn't anymore.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable that you could hop the train and go anywhere.
Yeah, from Castleman.
They had more than...
small town down along the Castleman River.
They had more than 2 stores open at one time.
Wow.
So they must have had a lot of business. Now, I, being my age, barely remember the last store. It was the Trout store, and it closed in the early 60s.
Do you remember the old... wasn't there an insane asylum down in Markleton?
It's not insane asylum. It's the sanitarium, or sanatorium, however they say it.
Yeah.
It was a resort. It was the Seven Springs of the day.
Yeah.
A number of presidents came there for like an outing, a vacation. Trains would pull right up to it. It started to get in financial bind around World War I, in that time period. And then, of course, TB became an epidemic at that time. So the government took it over as a sanitarium for the TB patients.
Okay.
And it was supposed to, the mountain air was supposed to help your condition.
Yeah. So it was almost like a wellness center, you would have called it.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know where in the world I got a sane asylum.
Well, sometimes you think sanitarium, you think of that direction.
I guess. Yeah.
But this one was for the physical.
Yeah. So you're talking with your grandmother, and that kind of piqued your interest.
Yes. See, my great-grandfather had a store in Castleman, and she even talked about the station master. He had one arm. Well, now that I have been doing, research on Civil War veterans. He lost his arm in the Civil War.
Okay.
She remembered that.
Wow.
She remembered him hanging the mailbag out on the hook. And when the train came by, it grabbed a hold of it, and they sorted the mail on the train.
Yeah.
Yeah, James Cook was quite an interesting individual. And ironically, he and his wife both lost a sibling in the Civil War.
Wow.
Hers was in the Battle of Gettysburg. And he lays in an unmarked grave.
Wow. That's incredible. Yeah. So even the town of Castleman, which is fairly small, goes back a long way.
Yeah, I believe it was laid out in 1869. It was David Phillippe's farm. They even laid between the railroad and the river industrial sites out.
Yeah.
They had great plans for the place.
Wow. Yeah. And just the economy didn't support it, I guess.
Well, it did for a time period. The mines, they had mines on my side of the river and also on the other side of the river. They had a swinging bridge that connected them to the one set of mines. They had a wooden covered bridge.
Going across the Castleman?
Yes.
Wow.
And it still would be there. But the rockwood covered bridge in 1936 floated down and knocked the Castleman covered bridge off.
Oh, wow.
It was very high.
Yeah.
So had that not happened, just think the bike trail would be connected to Castleman
Yeah.
through a covered bridge.
Isn't that? Huh. Yeah. We have a lot of covered bridges around here. Now, are you familiar with the history of those? And
A few of them.
yeah.
Of course, a terrible tragedy we had is when they burnt down the Upper Turkey Foot covered bridge.
Just arsonists, was it, or what?
Stupidity was mostly. The story that was told to me is there was a party going on back there.
Oh yeah, they like to party down there.
And it started to rain. So they built their fire on the covered bridge.
Yeah, for goodness sake.
And there it went.
Huh.
We used to have a covered bridge at Whipkey Dam.
Okay, yeah.
And also at the Trent store, that's in another township, but there was a covered bridge. There was a covered bridge at Racina.
Oh, wow.
Madeline Kuntz, which was Louise Kuntz's mother, tells about the time she was a child and they were riding through the covered bridge and there was a crack in the board and their buggy wheel got caught. They had a terrible time getting it out.
Yeah, there's, I think, I was working across from one of them down in Humbert. And they have, certain height restrictions on them. Well, some bikers from, probably not from around here, had their bikes strapped to the roof of their car.
Oh.
Needless to say, they did some damage to their bikes when they went under the covered bridge and ripped the clearance bar off, but anyway.
You got to watch out, especially if you go through drive-thrus.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
They very much improved that bridge. That has steel garters underneath it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty strong.
Yeah.
Because there's residents on the other side,
Yes.
and they use that bridge daily.
Yes, I think that was for emergency vehicles that they could cross it. It is a very beautiful spot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's great fishing down there. Yeah. And you can get on the other side through, but you got to go a long way around if you're, through Jersey Hollow, I think. But
Yes, above the Jersey Church,
Yeah.
it's the other way.
yeah. So, I have a few notes. Don't mind me. Okay, so what drew you into the cemeteries and the research that you've done there?
Well, in 1979, I got to thinking my great-grandmother, we lived with them. And when she died, it named Samuel Brocher as her father. Well, I had nobody to ask who Samuel Brocher was, where he was from, or what happened, so I went looking for him. He was found in the Lutheran Cemetery in Kingwood. They call it the Zion or the Mount Zion Lutheran Cemetery. And then that started the, I wonder, the next generation and the next generation. It's just that trickle-down effect.
Yeah. So you found him there.
I found him there, found his father there. But there was an untold story. The father was with a much younger woman. It was the second wife.
Okay. And so your last name is Brocht, but you were related to some Brockers.
The Brockers.
Okay. And how did those were there name changes along the way?
No.
Okay.
No.
Different.
Brockers and Brocks are not the same.
Okay.
Then maybe they act the same. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're not the same. The Brocker family, there's not a lot written about them.
Yeah.
The Brocks, they daren't write a lot about them. A little shady there.
Yeah.
But the Brocks didn't come over till right before the Civil War, and he served in the Civil War.
Okay. And from where? Come over from where?
He came over from Germany.
Okay.
And the strange thing about him, he was a stowaway. They said he wouldn't serve in the German army. Germany, of course, was having wars all the time.
Yeah.
But he came over here and fought in the Civil War. The first time he was drafted. The second time, he was a substitute for somebody, but never found out who.
Oh, wow.
And
that's your great-great-grandfather.
Mm-hmm. And being that he was first-generation immigrant, been pretty poor, so that $300 or whatever they paid for a sub would have come in handy.
Yeah. Wow. Well, could you imagine coming over to a place that you've never been, have no idea what it's like, join the military? I mean, to serve, I guess to become, I mean, he probably became a citizen then after he served.
He didn't become a citizen until the 1880s, which is interesting, but he felt that the war was important enough that he participated in, considering he didn't want to serve in the German army.
Yeah. Now, did he serve for the North?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. I have no Southern family, but there's a number of families, even in our Yunkin family, different ones in the area do have Southern family, and I tell them to encompass it. Tell the story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, both sides lost, and what they lost was their precious sons and daughters.
Right. Right.
And there's always stories to tell.
Yeah. And they both were fighting for what they thought was right.
Yes. We had Teresa Roan to do a program recently in the Mount Union Church. She come from Richmond, Virginia, and has served for a time in the Museum of the Confederacy. And she's a proud daughter of the Confederacy, and she's African American. That's all not cut and dry in the stories.
Yeah.
There was blacks that served in the
North.
The North and some in the South, but they won't tell you that. Yeah. The Confederate Army paid some of the blacks that were serving. They found the pay stubs.
Yeah. Wow.
BBC interviewed her one time, and he said, well, what's your nationality to her? She said, I'm from 13 African countries. I have English, and it's either Ireland or Scotland she has in her family. And the man said, I don't know how to peg you. She said, I'm an American.
Yeah, right.
That's what's wrong today.
Yeah.
We need to be Americans.
Yeah, right. Even if you come over here with the best intentions.
Yes.
Be American when you get here.
Yes. Because apparently there was something here you came for. And our Sons of the American Revolution has done receptions already at the Fort Necessity for their naturalization programs. They're the most interesting people to talk to.
Yeah.
They could just kiss the ground.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They some of the most appreciative
Absolutely.
of what America actually is.
And, it's the shame of it all is people need to talk to them and hear their story. Mm-hmm. Then you can feel yourself lucky.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the heritage is something to be celebrated, but also they are proud Americans. They don't renounce their heritage, but they become American as American gets when they, it's what we call naturalizing.
And it's work.
Yeah.
To study all that you need to pass the test.
Yeah.
I bet they know more of history than our own that was raised here.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is like sometimes, like when we're in high school, my daughter was showing me her schedule for next year. She has American history. It's one of her classes. I'm like, oh, I'd love to take that class again. Just because I enjoy it. But, teenager in high school, you're like, let me just get through this. At least I was that way.
Bill Gregg taught Somerset County history when I was in school. Now,
They had a Somerset County history class?
yes.
Okay.
And keep in mind, that's over 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent class. I think every school needs to teach local history.
Yeah.
6 weeks, a month, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, even like say in the American history class, just do a little course on local history. Incorporate it into your American history. Because we have so much American history right here. And great thing for kids to know and, kind of.
All of history passed by here. We have Route 30 and we have Route 40 in this county.
Mm-hmm.
And the stories just on those two highways. Plus, of course, we're located, the Turkey Foot Trail is near here, the Indian Path between Confluence and Somerset.
Yeah. And there's some stories about George Washington actually coming through here, right?
Yes, and I believe he's the one that called it the Turkey Foot.
Yeah, because of the way the confluence of the rivers. Yeah, very cool.
Yes, he was here.
Yeah.
Whether he slept here much, I don't know. But no, he was here, he passed here. And can you imagine the natural beauty that would have been here? Because there wasn't many here when he was here.
Yeah, just all natural.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, undisturbed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is quite a place. Like we've been around, and I like visiting other places.
The Indians were heavily here. You'd be surprised in Confluence where during the 1930s when the WPA had their programs, they researched Indian burial grounds and where the villages were and things.
I wish they were still here. I mean,
they might be in other people that we just don't know.
Yeah, I know, but that would be. I think that would be cool to be friends with some Native Americans.
I tell anybody, whatever your history is, you encompass it because you're made up of them.
Yeah.
It's a miracle that you're here.
Yeah, yeah.
One little thing, you may have not been born.
Yeah. My grandfather met my grandmother. She was in World War II. He was in I believe the Army. He drove an ambulance.
Okay.
And so when he was over there, he met my Italian grandmother, and they got married. She was very young. I would say, I think 15 or 16, and then she came over with him. And so
she was a war bride.
Yeah, yeah.
Did she ever make it back to the old country to visit?
I believe so. Yes, and two of her sisters and a brother came over also. So they were interesting. Spoke a lot of Italian, liked cards, liked cigarettes.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, a little. Yeah, a little booze, but no, I don't remember that much.
Did I ask you? Did your family practice the feast of the 7 fishes at Christmas?
No, I would say yes. You did ask me that, and I would say not religiously.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember her making fish at Christmas. But there's usually only one. I don't remember 7 fishes, but there could have been. I don't,
Probably
she was a good
like
cook.
the rest.
She cooked a lot of great Italian food. There was always pizzas cooling on the front porch, and she was the wife of a dairy farmer, and so she would bake bread, rolls, pizza, soup all the time. It was all down there. She would send home a loaf of bread and an apple pie with my dad in the morning after milking. And he would bring it home for breakfast, and that's what I ate was Grandma's homemade Italian bread for breakfast. Yeah.
I bet you miss it.
Oh yeah. We miss her a lot. But.
All the grandmas were favorite things that they would cook for you.
Yeah.
And grandma's was always you could sit on their lap.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, like when we had family dinners at her house. It was a farmhouse. It wasn't made to seat. I mean, we had a big family. She had 7 kids. So all my aunts, uncles, everybody would get together. And it didn't matter if you had a place to sit or not. I can still remember 2 of my uncles leaning up against the washing machine, eating Thanksgiving dinner, or somebody sitting on the staircase, or somebody sitting on the arm. It didn't matter. You didn't care. It didn't have to be fancy. It's just you got together.
It was
the
home.
point. Yeah. Everybody got together. It didn't matter. The details didn't matter. Everybody got together, and it was a good time. But yeah, we do. That does lack. My dad still does try to carry that on a little bit. Family reunion. He tries to have some of the bigger family dinners there. So
Now, on Christmas Eve, what did your family do?
Well, we usually went to her house Christmas Eve,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where we just exchanged gifts.
Then did you go to Mass then?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
Midnight.
I grew up Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not Catholic anymore, but yeah, went to Mass, midnight Mass, or usually midnight. So yeah.
Fred Cale used to tell the story. He lived in Accident, Maryland, that beautiful Lutheran church you see coming into Accident on 219.
Yeah.
His cousin and his uncle were always involved in the lighting of the candles on the Christmas tree. And it was a big Christmas tree. He said we could hardly wait to get to church.
And they lit real candles.
Which
always blew my mind because that pine.
Oh, that would scare me to death. But keep in mind, the tree wasn't up like it is today.
Yeah.
That was the first service of the Christmas tree, and he said they had long poles. And if a candle started to tilt and run over or got too close to a branch, they put it out.
Yeah. That's cool. So was there one location or one story or a person's background that really hooked you into researching this local history?
In the family or in the area?
In the area or family, or both?
Every family has its ups and downs. In my family, being the great-great-grandmother was married 4 times, you didn't realize the sadness that she lived with. She died in my house. But her first husband died of smallpox in 1877. Her second husband died of, I would say, a type of pneumonia or something like that, because it was in the winter. The third husband, I'm not sure what he died of, but he was 20 years younger than her.
Oh, wow.
And the fourth husband, they did the terrible, sinful thing. He divorced her, and that was, we didn't talk about that. But there she was, she outlived all 4 husbands. She also outlived 3 of her children. She outlived about 6 of her siblings, and her name was one of her dead siblings' name.
Oh, wow.
It makes you think. They were wearing black all the time.
Yeah.
Which the mourning custom was you had your rules.
Yeah. It's a little different today.
Yes. A good picture of that was in the motion picture Gone with the Wind.
Yeah.
When Scarlett's first husband died.
Uh-huh. So that's what it was like.
Yes. No dancing. No black. The whole business.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell my wife when I go, don't mourn. I'm good. I'm in heaven with Jesus. Like, have fun, celebrate it.
Well, when I go, I'm having hair.
Yeah,
you remember that?
Yeah, we'll have hair and a big party. So part of the, I think not convenience, but coincidence of you coming on now is we're celebrating America 250 this summer, which I'm pretty excited about. I think it's. I'm like, okay, what are we gonna do this summer to celebrate? Might even buy the good hot dogs, whatever. But
well, Somerset County is going to have a very good incident, or I want to say a good happening. We will now have our Revolutionary War monument placed in the county.
Oh,
the Sons of the American Revolution has been working on that for 2 years. And it was to happen last year and didn't. The granite is coming from Africa. It'll be black.
Wow.
So whenever it gets here and it's installed, we'll have a ceremony.
Yeah. And where are they going to put it?
Right in front of the round porch at the courthouse. You will see a foundation poured there now.
Okay.
It's been in almost a year.
Yeah.
And Bill Lehman and a few more got to thinking one day, well, there's nothing for the Revolution here. There's 3 monuments that we don't have here right now. The Revolutionary War, the War of 1812, which is called the Second Revolutionary War. Still fighting the same person.
Yeah.
And the Mexican War. And that was the war before the Civil War.
Yeah.
You don't hear much about that one.
No.
In the Mount Union Cemetery, we have a Mexican War veteran buried. There are very few in the county.
Yeah. And so they're buried here because this is where they were from.
Yeah, this was their home. He had to enlist in Bedford.
Okay.
But of course, then the Civil War came and it called a lot.
Yeah. Do we have a lot of Revolutionary War history here?
We do. Now,
Well, I know, obviously, there's Gettysburg, but as you get...
well, that's Civil War.
Oh, true. Sorry.
Revolutionary War, of course, was down east, but they were coming here when they weren't supposed to be here. Captain Andrew Ream came about 1765, and that treaty was still in effect that you weren't to be here. This was still Indian country.
Okay.
But him and a few more were here. The Revolutionary War, they did have some militias in the area, but most of the service was down east.
Yeah. And how did people make their way out here, like, to Somerset County?
After the war, and of course it was the big push, there was a land given for Revolutionary War service. My first Revolutionary War veteran is buried on our farm. My grandmother never knew he was related. That's how quick it can fall. The history falls out of people's knowledge.
Yeah.
All she ever called him was that man over the hill. Ended up being my 5th great-grandfather.
Wow.
On her side. But she never knew it.
Yeah. And he moved out here.
Moved out here, and that was his homestead. And in the readings, it was put his beloved homestead.
Yeah. Wow. And so that was pretty much... I know that, like, Bedford County was part of Somerset County at one time.
Till 1795.
Yeah. And so the earliest... So what was early Somerset County like? What was, like... What are some things that the people did? Did you find any of that out? Like,
they did. They tried to exist. Can you imagine existing without Walmart?
I would love it.
That still baffles me. What would happen if you had a crop failure? If you just couldn't send away for it. You know, it's like it was life or death.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so many died in childbirth, and that's not talked about.
Yeah.
Or the child died of a disease.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the confluence, there would have been evidence of Indian village or something down there. They said they used to come here. This was their hunting ground in the summer.
Yeah.
Early Revolutionary wasn't much here. Route 30 probably would have had, people passing by. A friend of mine told me that my ancestors that lived up that way, in the one Hunter and Trapper book that a man wrote in his diary, he said to the effect, Mrs. Zimmerman runs a very efficient staff. He stayed there overnight. Now, what does he mean by that? Did they have servants?
Yeah.
Were they white? Were they black? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I would say they were probably white. But, of course, at that time, younger people went to work for other people. I mean, it wasn't 18. I mean, sometimes 12, 14, 16 years old, they were working in other households.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm a fan of Little House on the Prairie. I love that show. And those kids were going to work, just like you said, in somebody's household, helping out, taking care of whatever. A lot of times for a widow or somebody that,
A good example of this, Amish children take care of their siblings.
Yeah.
They carry them around, they're very, very close. And I think it was a different age at that time.
Yeah.
like Little House on the Prairie, how close the girls were.
Yeah.
I still think exists in the Amish community
How
today.
responsible they were at a young age.
Yeah.
What a difference today, though.
Yeah.
In general. I'm not,
Can you imagine a 12 or
family.
14-year-old taking care of one or two babies? You were saying about how young your ancestor was. I wouldn't believe this, but it was in his Civil War pension when she applied for his pension after he died.
One thing you hear a lot about on this podcast is how much people matter here in Somerset County. And that's especially true when it comes to where you bank. That's why I want to tell you about Somerset Trust Company. They've been serving our communities for generations, and they understand what it means to be a truly local bank with a strong presence across the region. So whether you're running a small business, working towards your financial goals, or planning for the future, Somerset Trust offers the kind of personal service and support that you just don't always find these days. If you're looking for a bank that's invested in the same communities that we talk about here on the Route 281 podcast, check out Somerset Trust Company and experience the difference of banking locally.
She married him at age 14.
Oh, wow. And that wasn't all that uncommon, though, really.
No, because the life expectancy wasn't 80 years old. I mean, if you lived to be 40, 50, you were considered, because you worked hard.
Oh, yeah. You and I are on borrowed time, huh?
Yeah. I keep telling you I'm over the hill.
Yeah, I'm over a hill, too.
But can you imagine 14 years old being a wife?
No, I can't.
I can't see that today.
Yeah, well, I have a 15-year-old, so no, I can't imagine that.
Giving her away, to be married?
Yeah, no, not yet. What's the oldest grave you've found?
That could be questionable because some of the old graves have no dates on. All they'll have is a filled stone.
Yeah.
One that surprised me was, and it's not considered old, 1810, but the Whipke family's buried in the old Edie Cemetery, and that leads me to believe, why in 1810 were they burying there? What was the attraction?
Yeah.
Of course, today it's a beautiful church, sits there in a beautiful cemetery. But it's like Mount Union. Why did they start to bury there? I think it was the Schrock family plot. Mm-hmm. And in 1835 was the first body placed in it. And it just seemed it was the right spot. Sometimes you look at these cemeteries, that's why they buried there. Now, one that is unusual is the Ream Cemetery, which is right along the Laurel Hill Creek, the one with the wall. Have you been in it?
Right along the Laurel Hill Creek. Where
Racina.
In Racina. No, I don't think.
We're going to have to go sometime.
Yeah.
The Ream's buried there in the 1700s. It has a lot of unusual tombstones in it. They call it Pennsylvania Dutch tombstone art. When the Vandals got in about 30 years ago, they broke one of our beautiful stones up. It had an oak leaf and an eggcorn on it. But one of the Ream ladies, it has on the stone, was bit by a snake. In 24 hours, she was dead. Probably a copperhead.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And so that was, one of the things, too. You had no antidote. You died.
Yeah. Do you find a lot of gravestones with symbols and stuff that you had to kind of research to find out what they meant?
Yes. In fact, the Historical Society has researched what these stones, the symbols are. And that was a great help because to look at them, you think it's just fancy work. No, it has a meaning.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh.
Hearts and angels and sun spirals, they call them. And
yeah.
You'll enjoy going down to the Ream. Okay. Of course, you know how the fence got around the cemetery. His name was Norman Ream. It seemed that everything Norman Ream did, he made money. He used to park his private railroad car above the cemetery, and I could barely see it yet. It was clean cut that he could look down.
Yeah.
But in 1911, he had this fence placed around it and a breaker put in the creek that cemetery would not wash away.
Not good.
Norman Ream, I think, he was involved in the railroad. I believe he was in one of the big companies. It might have been Nabisco. But when he died, he's buried in New York City. One of his pallbearers was Robert Todd Lincoln, the son of the president.
Oh, wow.
Norman made good. So
Yeah. Huh.
a guy from Confluence.
Yeah. And made it as an entrepreneur and businessman. And
Yes. So he put the fence around, and the Cemetery Association recently had it restored. Iva Barkley worked very hard raising money for it, and the wall's holding up good.
Yeah. Now, you had said there's a few people in our area that even go back to some of the writers of the Constitution.
Yes, the Shawless family, all would be cousins of of Jacob Shallus.
Okay.
It was not spelled our Shawless way today; it was Shallus. But our descendants here are from Sebastian, where Jacob's father was Valentine, and Valentine was a brother to Sebastian. Jacob Shallus penned the Constitution for $30. He worked in the clerk's office in Philadelphia, and ironically, I was comparing dates. Sebastian and his family moved out here in Somerset County. They actually lived longer than Valentine and his family that stayed in Philadelphia.
Wow.
So it must have been that mountain air, know that.
Yeah, well, I could
The
imagine.
sanitarium bunch, they had something there.
Even today, you'll live longer here than in Philadelphia.
It's less stress. You know why?
You're less likely
the
to
roads.
Yeah, you're less likely to get shot, too. That's pretty cool. So what's been the most interesting family history that you've found?
They're all interesting. I will share some of the interesting things of some of my famous cousins if you're interested.
Yeah, absolutely.
You never know who you may be related to. We were sitting at the Yunkin reunion one time, and Olive Duff said, "Well, you go back to George Armstrong Custer." I said, "No, I didn't know it. I'll send you the papers." Sure enough, the Fadley family goes back to George Armstrong Custer through his line was a sister to our Adam Fadley, who's buried in Salisbury. And so I tell all the Fadley cousins, if there are Indians in the neighborhood, it's best to keep a low profile. Remember what happened to George.
Yeah.
Another one you've heard of, the motion picture actor James Dean.
Yes.
He's a cousin.
Okay.
All the Glotfelders or the Glatfelders are all related to him. A most recent one we found, do you remember Katie Seagal? Married with children.
Yes. Yeah.
Katie Seagal goes back to the Amish
Peggy
in Somerset County, and she say, "Oh, wow, Yeah, she's from Amish the same way I am. Our lines join."
Huh. I can see that.
Another interesting individual, and she's still living, is you've heard of the Partridge family.
Mm-hmm.
Shirley Jones is a cousin on the Yunkin family side.
Oh, wow.
So the house you live in,
Yeah, could have been.
she was a cousin to her. Another interesting one is, you've heard of him. His name is Ulysses S. Grant.
Yeah.
And I'm related through his mother's line, the Simpsons. My fourth great-grandfather and Grant's grandfather were brothers.
Yeah. That's amazing. And how do you find this stuff out?
It's usually written down that so-and-so goes back to so-and-so.
You just trace it.
Then they trace it. There was a family scandal years ago. It was called the Baker Fortune. It was about the Baker family who comes through the Schoenfelds.
I know some bakers.
Lots of bakers.
Yeah.
Well, they tried to come up with the one man in the Baker family owned part of Philadelphia. And they said even people went into debt trying to get that they would become rich. And it was a scandal.
Yeah.
Like they are today, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, everyone thinks it's a quick buck, but there isn't any.
So this was the bakers that put this on
Back at that time, and this comes through the Zimmerman line for me. Of course, nobody got any money.
Yeah.
Another interesting line, of course, is D.B. Zimmerman, and how he built this house. And they always said Mrs. Zimmerman didn't want that house. She was more not flaunty.
Yeah. Huh. She did. Oh, okay. She didn't want a big house.
No, she come up.
Yeah. Simple.
And her family is also buried on our farm. She goes back to DeWalt Snyder.
And so is the Mount Union Church on your farm?
No. Okay. It's about a mile and a half away from where I live. It's on a hill. And
so how did you get first involved in the Mount Union Church?
Well, our family reunion merged with there's several different spellings of Lepharts, but they all go back to the same one. Our reunions merged, and the Lepharts are the ones that look after the Mount Union Church and have the association. And how I got involved with it, of course, the generations die. And so it's... the church has brought the community together. We have weddings. We have funerals over there. People will come for programs. Of course, the Civil War programs have the Sons and Auxiliary of the Union Veterans all meet there monthly, and been having some excellent programs. And we bring programs in that you'd have to travel to Gettysburg or Virginia to see them, or you can come there and they're free.
Yeah. Anything coming up in the near future?
They're doing a program in July for the students up at the Historical Society. This month program coming in June now this will be the second Sunday of June, not the third, because of the state encampment is coming. They're going to honor 19 Civil War veterans in the St. John Cemetery in Somerset.
Okay.
Are you familiar where that one is?
No.
It's off the Chickentown Road. You can see the back of it from the water level road.
Oh, okay.
That was the United Brethren in Christ Cemetery, which today is known as First Methodist next to Mel's.
You may know so there's a cemetery on Chickentown Road.
There's Pleasant Hill.
Where I grew up, right actually at the end of my drive.
Pleasant Hill.
Yes. Do you know any history of that cemetery?
Well, that used to be a church of the Brethren, and they didn't tear it down.
Yeah.
I would love to see inside. They maintained that building very nicely.
Yeah.
But I don't know why it closed. Ruth Ann Neal had a picture of all these like Model Ts around it, and it was open. They still bury in that cemetery.
Yeah.
They have a number of Civil War veterans in there. Now, there's two Pleasant Hill cemeteries. One is in Milford Township and one is in Somerset Township. And the Somerset Township one is near the Votech School.
Okay.
So, they're buried in Pleasant Hill. Well, which one?
Right, yeah. And that's not close, relatively not close.
No.
Yeah. Huh. Very cool. And so you do grave tours, right?
Yes,
And
I
so
did
how did
one
you get
yesterday.
started doing that?
It was for the homeschoolers, and we have a lot of very interesting people buried in Somerset. Amelia Earhart's ancestors are buried there. They're in Ankeny Square. Of course, have you seen the motion picture Lincoln, the one that Steven Spielberg did? At least, 15 years ago.
Yeah, I remember it.
Do you remember Coffroth in there, or as he called him, Coffroth?
Yeah, no, I don't.
Made him to look like an idiot. He lived in Somerset.
Oh, wow.
He's buried in Union Cemetery, and was the only Democrat to be pallbearer for Abraham Lincoln. But he supported the 13th Amendment, which that movie is about. And you wouldn't think. He even represented the county that Gettysburg is in, Adams County. That's how far his term was. He wasn't reelected.
Yeah, that's funny. That's why history is so important, because a lot of people don't even know that. They don't even know that, and it was mostly the Republican Party that wanted to do away with slavery.
Yes, and George Kaufman was posed with this question one time at a program in Mount Union. Republicans and Democrats, Republicans were considered the radicals of the time, and the Democrats were the conservative ones. And they asked him, when did it sort of change? And he said, around World War II. So
it seems to ebb and flow, doesn't it?
It does. And, today I get so tired of Republican this, Democrat this. It should be we the people.
Yes.
What is best for we the people, not we the party?
Yeah, amen to that.
And it's just, I think people don't work things out like they used to.
No, it's so divided.
I don't know how this country ever started. If it had to start today.
Oh, it wouldn't. There'd be two countries.
Because
we don't have much in common anymore.
I still am of the opinion that God started this country because we should have lost the Revolutionary War. We should never won that.
Right. When you look at all the miracles that it took to actually, the Revolutionary War, for one, like you just said, it wasn't likely that we were going to win that. A bunch of militiamen up against the
best army of the world at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Another time that was very, very interesting was in the War of 1812, when the British burnt Washington.
Yeah.
They burnt the White House. There was a terrible storm came up when this was going on. The lightning was so bad that it scared them.
Wow.
It scared them. And they made a comment, what is happening here?
Yeah. Huh.
You don't hear this in history.
No. Yeah, which makes me wonder how in the world you find all this out.
PBS.
Yeah.
They haven't played it for a while, but they have an excellent War of 1812 program. Yeah. You don't hear that war talked about.
No. Well, I remember a little bit of it, from high school, but
I have two ancestors that was in it, but many people don't.
Yeah. Well, you think that's only less than 25 years after?
Yeah, from
the Revolution.
1812 to 1814, I think it went on.
Yeah. Here they are, just getting started as a country and going into another one.
And that's sort of it. If communication was better, I don't think the War of 1812 may have happened. But of course, that made Dolly Madison famous.
Yeah. How so?
She ordered the frame broke on the portrait of Washington when they were fleeing the White House. They ordered the frame broke so they could get the canvas out to take it.
Oh.
So one of the stories goes.
Yeah, very cool.
One of the places that was impressive for me one time, our group took a tour to Frederick, Maryland. And Francis Scott Key is buried there.
Okay, in Frederick, Maryland.
Yes. And they have a beautiful monument and a tribute to him. And the flowers, of course, they have these antique urns. But to stand at a grave, that this famous song, the lyrics was written by this man. It's all over the world to stand at the grave.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty special. I enjoy going to D.C. The 6th grade class from Rockwood gets to go to D.C. every year. And so I've had 2 kids go through that. I've been now twice, and we'll get to do it one more time. But it's a lot to do in a day.
Very
but
much
it is
so.
to go to the Lincoln Memorial, which is to me one of the most impressive. When you stand in there and you read those words, that to me it had the most impact on me. That actual monument. I don't, yeah, it's pretty surreal to go there and to think, the history of the nation.
We forget that these people were human too.
Yeah.
And with the President Lincoln, the sadness that he had to deal with.
Yeah.
And of course, Mary had a hard time dealing with it.
Yeah. Didn't he lose a son?
Two.
He lost two.
He lost one in the White House, and I believe his name was Little Eddie, died before.
Yeah. And there's a Lincoln bedroom in the White House, correct? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Someone posed a question to Nancy Reagan one time, is it haunted?
She says yes, huh? Okay, so that brings me to... Excuse me. That brings me to another question I wanted to ask you is, what are some of the local myths and legends around our area?
Oh, you're in the middle of them.
Yeah, really?
Of course, Hexie
Okay.
is a grand place to visit.
Yeah.
There's been a book about it. Of course, there's been a song.
I did not know that.
Yes, a place called Hexie.
And that's the name of the book?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And Cindy G., the bluegrass entertainer that lives over in Pattytown, she wrote a story and then set it to music about Priscilla Rugg. Of course, it's notorious, so they say, that Humbert has witches.
Really?
Oh, yes.
I did not know that.
Oh, it's there's two individuals that get credit for it. The first one was way before any of our time. Her name was Priscilla Rugg. She's buried, I think, on the Mitchell farm up on a hill. I've never been there. But supposedly to legend, on moonlit nights, you will see her riding the white horse her father got her. Visiting the Hessians. Well, there was no Hessians here.
Yeah.
What's
a Hessian?
A Hessian, weren't they German soldiers?
I don't know.
See, France fought with the Americans for the Revolutionary War. There were no Hessians here, so that legend's real colorful. I tell the Boy Scouts were at Mount Union one time, and they loved ghost stories, and it was moonlit. It was full moon that night,
Yeah.
so of course we warned them, watch out for Priscilla, she'll be coming past. Mary Wino was another one that they always said was a witch. No. She was foreign. She talked broken English. And of course, Mary in the old country would have gathered things, herbs and things, because that's how they doctored.
Mm-hmm.
So she left them, I think she was a witch because they left her alone. So
Like a witch doctor, they kind of thought.
yes.
And how long ago was this?
She died in the year of 1953.
Okay.
Jonathan Ned Tobias, who is an Orthodox priest, she was Orthodox in faith, was not able to have the funeral service. So he came back probably 10 years ago and gave her the committal service she never had.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah.
So, witch is a Hexie.
Mm-hmm. And they always said it's haunted around where the covered bridge sat. So one never knows.
No, you don't.
Of course, there's a marker down in that area about the Hexie area, the hexes. So.
Oh, okay.
Legends can get started over very innocent things.
Yeah.
Because, being foreign, they were suspicious, and their mannerisms were different than the Germans were in the area.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to meeting Mary Wino someday.
Yeah. Let her tell her side of the story.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. See, they always had beautiful horses. And we've got an image of her, and Mary Wino don't look like anything I pictured her.
Yeah.
I pictured her as a little heavy lady.
Yeah.
No, she's as skinny as a rail and tall.
Huh. Wow. Well, you'd have to be skinny to ride that broom, to get off the ground.
Well, Priscilla had to be skinny to get up on that horse.
Yeah.
There's many descendants.
Yeah.
Not only the Ruggs, but of course the Ruggs married into other families. There's lots of descendants of.
Yeah. So we have the Hexie legends. Anything else that sticks out to you about our area?
Some of the people. We have an interesting cross-section of people. Of course, the Germans were in the Kingwood area, but Paddytown was the Irish.
Okay. Hence the name Paddytown.
Mm-hmm. By the names of Kirkpatrick, Macmillan, Pinkerton.
Yeah. Pinkerton Tunnel.
Mm-hmm. That was named after Matthew Pinkerton. And there's been other families. But the Macmillans, of course, they were famous for their tannery in New Lexington.
Yeah. Well, there's still a Millen, and they may have dropped the Mick, but there's a Millen hides and furs.
Not the same
Not
group.
Not the same group. Huh?
He's from Bedford.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Macmillans. They were here early. In fact, the Macmillans were in the Revolutionary War.
Wow.
If you want to see some of the flushing knives, there's a nice display in the Museum Hall at the New Centerville Jubilee.
Okay. Huh.
They've hung there for years.
Yeah. When are you going to write a book?
Well, I'm hoping to write a book someday. It's going to be called Beyond the Gate.
Yeah.
It's going to be
I think
about
that'd be a great book.
those people that's buried in Mount Union Cemetery, the Mount Union Cemetery, and some of the local stories in and around.
Yeah.
We have a lot of interesting people. For instance,
That would be a great book to include in the local history class
Mm-hmm.
that they should teach.
you would never think that we would have such a connection to the atomic bomb.
Here? Oh, really?
Here,
Okay, how so?
Congressman J. Buell Snyder, whose grandfather built the church, he was raised on the farm below the church. Dan Snyder owns it today.
Mm-hmm.
He was born there, and he went in on the New Deal with Roosevelt. He became chairman of the House Appropriations Committee that secretly got the money approved for the bomb. Arthur Milnes served for a time in Her Majesty's Navy. He came over here, worked in Carnegie Mellon to get the planes, the gauges and the engines to go up higher so that they could drop the bomb. Yes, the bomb was a terrible thing, but we had to end this war.
Mm-hmm.
Arthur Milnes is buried in the cemetery. Of course, Congressman Snyder is in, I believe, Fayette County, buried. Just a little dinky place around here has all these connections
Yeah.
that touched the world.
Yeah. And I think it's important that, people know that, because I say often there's too much that tries to divide us all the time. And
Very
we
much.
think of the internet as a way to stay connected, but really it doesn't, as far as like social media and stuff like that, the connections that we have are actually real. And there's no substitute for a real connection.
Yeah.
So.
And the people will find sometimes in their family histories, it's what they're told and the way it was is two different things. But usually there's truths in everything. It's just sometimes it gets a little slanted one way or the other.
Correct.
Or like Hexie,
Yeah.
makes good
Yeah, it
conversation.
can become legend.
And
So, after researching all these people and going down the roads that you've gone down, what do you think that, we as a culture could learn from them today?
I think we as a culture needs to start learning some of our history.
Yeah.
They're going to repeat it. History is not a dead thing. It can become most alive for you because you are a living history of your ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
They're still living in you.
Yeah. Yeah, we all are, really.
Yes, and to say they are unimportant, they were important enough to give you life.
Right. Yeah.
Tobias Schroeder, my third great grandfather, was shot 7 times in the Battle of Newmarket in Virginia, and was thrown in Libby Prison, the prisoner of war camp in Richmond. He was so afraid that he would get maggots in his wounds that he stuffed them with tobacco. Keep in mind, this was summer in Richmond. Had the bullet went one way or the other, all 7 of them, he would have died.
Yeah. It's amazing he lived anyway.
My ancestor was the last one born before he went to war. Had he died that day, Ida Halp would have never been born, and that's Doc Halp's mom. Doc Halp delivered me.
Wow.
Doc Halp and Betty, and with others, created the Somerset County Historical Society. If the bullet went one way
Yeah, wow.
or the other.
Yeah, we've seen that in recent history, how fractions of an inch can make a difference.
Yes. So it is amazing we're even here.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it is. Well, I'm glad that somebody has taken the time and the energy to look into this so that it's not lost on us, really. I think it would be great if more people knew about it, which is why I had you come on. I mean, I'm interested. And so if somebody wants to do a tour or see a reenactment at the Mount Union Church
Or a history program.
how can they do that?
The Mount Union does have a website. Well, they have a Facebook. You might want to try that first.
I can include it in the show notes.
Yeah, that would be fine. And there is some good programs coming up. We will be celebrating our 165th anniversary at one of the meetings. We already had one celebration. We started to celebrate last fall.
Yeah.
Why not? That's
Yeah.
165 years. A good program coming in September is, if I can pull the name up, Chris Zanoni is coming to speak on the Constitution. I've never seen a man. I've heard speeches on the Constitution. He has a passion. No wonder he's a teacher.
Yeah.
If you had him in school, it would have been wonderful to learn.
Yeah.
That was another thing. You know, I never had the Bill of Rights, the Constitution. We never studied that in school. Everybody needs to understand
Yes.
our documents because they affect you.
Yeah. Read them to your kids on July 4th this year.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
That it's a miracle this country's here.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And that it's lasted this long. But 200 years is not long
It's
when it
actually
comes.
not, which is amazing of what this country's become in 250 years. And if we don't get our together, we'll be, and we won't be here much longer.
One of the greatest things I think today is teaching the young the stories,
Yeah.
the history. You will find younger people absorb it. They love it. And that's when you get them hooked on history. My grandfather, when I was young, it was a pilgrimage to go to the Garrett Cemetery. My aunts would come in from Philadelphia. It was a time. That's all gone.
Mm-hmm.
But we were taught. We took care.
Yeah.
Of the previous generation.
Yeah. Understand history or you're doomed to repeat it.
Yes. And you need to know a little bit where you come from, and perhaps it might guide you where you're going.
Yeah. Well, that's words of wisdom.
Yeah. But history can be fun.
Yeah.
But teach it. And to start out, if you want to get a good subject started, just ask your family, what did you do for Christmas?
Yeah.
Or do you remember Newberries at Christmas time?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember?
I remember Newberries. Yep, the escalator. Now they have the nice painting on the side of the building.
Uh-huh.
And I had the young lady who runs the Uptown Works, or the, I can't think of the name. Anyway, the Somerset organization.
Would that be the Main Street program?
Yes, it is a Main Street program. Regina Coconauer runs that. Anyway, she said that guy came from Texas to paint that. And
Nice.
Painted it for free. Paint that mural on the side.
For free.
That's where is that?
Rockwood's having a mural installed. You know, our mural got torn down when they tore down Clappers. So there's one going on the firehouse, and it's in the process now.
Yeah.
They're painting it.
Okay. Yeah, very cool. Yeah. All right, Clark, I appreciate you sharing the
You're
wealth
welcome.
of knowledge with us, and I hope some people take advantage of, some of the programs where you should go even deeper, into the graveyards, the Civil War history. We shouldn't forget about it, but I am grateful that you came to talk on the show today about it.
You're quite welcome. And some of the greatest art galleries are cemeteries.
Yeah.
If you want to go some evening, in a hot summer evening, go to cemeteries and read the stones. It's interesting.
Yeah.
We in the Somerset cemeteries, Union and husband, they have beautiful tombstones.
Yeah.
And they have stories.
Yeah. Yeah, if you dare go walk through see a lot of people walking through the cemetery at night.
I will tell you, one of the best places to watch the Somerset fireworks is in Union Cemetery.
Yeah.
Either take a chair or sit on a good stone, but the beautiful image of the courthouse is on one side and the fireworks are over here.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful place.
Huh. I'll have to remember that.
And no one gives you a hard time.
Yeah. No.
If you park your car in the cemetery,
Yeah.
they don't give you a hard time.
No, there's roads to go through there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just watch where you step. Clark Brocht, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Appreciate it. Thanks for coming.
You're welcome.
All right, sir. Good to see
Bye
you.
now.
Hey, I want to take a minute to talk to you about my wife's travel agency, Quiet Waters Travel. She has a true gift for this. She loves planning travel, and she's really good at it. She's the kind of person who digs into every detail, finds the hidden gems, and makes the whole experience feel effortless for everyone involved. She works with families, couples, and groups, helping them plan everything from cruises and all-inclusives to bucket list adventures. She's even coordinating a private yacht voyage to the Galapagos for 16 people next spring. And if you know anything about group travel, that's no small feat. And with wedding season in full swing, she'd love to help some of you newlyweds or soon-to-be married couples start dreaming about the perfect honeymoon. Here's something most people don't realize. Using a travel agent doesn't cost you anything extra. She's paid by the travel suppliers, not you. You just get someone in your corner handling every detail. If a trip has been on your mind, reach out to her. Visit quietwaterstravel.com. That's quietwaterstravel.com, and tell her the Route 281 podcast sent you.